Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. Let's get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are on the rise this morning with S&P futures up 0.33%, Dow futures up 0.3%, and NASDAQ futures up 0.31%. Markets continue to rise today in what has become an 8-day winning streak in global stocks, which pushed by the waves of positive corporate news, improving virus trends, and U.S. stimulus plans. In its longest advance since November, the MSCI World Index is up 0.2%. Twitter shares have gained 4% thus far in U.S. pre-market after reporting a surge in revenue. Lyft rallied 13% as the co-founder said the company will absolutely turn quarterly profit this year. Oil prices have ticked higher with Brent futures climbing above $61 a barrel. The dollar remains steady ahead of a report on U.S. consumer prices due later today. And while the reading is expected to be tepid, inflation has quickly become the top issue in markets on speculation the Federal Reserve will let the economy run hot out of the pandemic. Yields on the 30-year Treasury were holding just below 2% across the threshold earlier this week. Elsewhere in markets, platinum rallied to a 6-year high on expectations it will benefit from tight supplies and investment demand. Bitcoin has fluctuated around $46,000. Over in Asia, Tencent Holdings drove strong gains into Asia markets as the company won Chinese regulatory approval to roll out a blockbuster game. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all night and all morning, and we're obviously indicated for a higher opening. They're up 0.35%, which is a positive, and that's really where they've been all morning. The stimulus bill remains the key factor in the direction of the market this morning. As long as there's talk and anticipation about the pending stimulus bill, the market's going to look at that as a positive. Later this morning, we have the inflation data coming out with the CPI release. It's scheduled for a little bit. That's going to be for January. We got a speech by Jerome Powell, the Fed chair. Plus, you get the EIA stockpile data, a report that's due out at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. This afternoon, we got a lot of good earnings reports coming out. Callaway Golf, ELY, International Flavors and Fragrances, ticker IFF, iRobot, IRBT, O'Reilly Auto Parts, ORLY, Spirit Airlines, SAV, Sonos, ticker SONO, Western Union, ticker WU, and Zillow, ticker Z. Those are all coming out this afternoon.
Let's go ahead and move into earnings to watch today. Bill, what type of earnings are we looking at?
Well, Cisco was interesting. They delivered a 3-cent beat on higher revenue, but there was some concerns in the report, which is why you're seeing the stock pull back about a little bit, about 2%, a little over 2% this morning. Twitter, on the other hand, they delivered a 7-cent beat on higher revenue, and that's why you're seeing it up 5% this morning. I'm a little cautious here on Twitter just because you're turning off some big users who have big followings, and it's got to hurt their revenue going forward. But I want to go deep into that earnings report to see what they make any comments on that. Yelp, ticker YELP, they met expectations on higher revenue, and they said this is a transformable year for the stock, which is why you're seeing Yelp stocks up 1.4% again this morning. It's almost at $40, and we started talking about this on Friday when it was at $35. Bungie Corp, they delivered a beat of $1.23 this morning. The stock is up 4%. We gave this one yesterday to you at 74, and now it's trading it was trading up to 79 earlier this morning. Coca-Cola, they delivered a 5-cent beat on slightly lower revenue. You're seeing shares of Coca-Cola up 1% this morning.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
Callaway Golf, ELY, set for an 8.7% move when they release earnings today. International Fragrances and Flavors, they're set for a 2.5% move when they release. iRobot, IRBT, this is set for a 9.9% move when they release. MGM, looking for a 5.9% move when they release. Ticker SONO is a 15% move. And Tootsie Roll, ticker TR, they're set for a 9% move when they release earnings this afternoon. I'm a little cautious on IRBT only because of what happened last time with their earnings report. And in their last earnings report, they delivered a beat of $1.63 and they raised guidance, and the stock initially shot up 7%. But when it opened the next day, it gave up that 7% and actually went down $10. So I'm a little cautious on iRobot, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a pop initially after the earnings come out later today.
Well, let's go ahead and move into economic reports. Bill, what type of reports are we expecting today?
Oh, the CPI at 8:30 this morning. That's the inflationary index for January. At 10 a.m., we have the Atlanta Fed business inflation expectations. And we also have wholesale inventories, a preliminary view coming out at 10 a.m. At 10:30, it's kind of interesting because we have the EIA oil stockpiles report. This is going to be a key factor for oil today. And later this afternoon at 2 p.m., Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is going to be speaking on a video call.
Well, moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Mesa Air, ticker MESA. The company's partnered with United Airlines, ticker UAL, and will be working with Archer to advance the adoption of sustainable flight in regional aviation through the use of fully electric vertical takeoff and landing aircrafts in place of standard jet engines. Archer plans to produce these aircraft starting in 2023, with consumer flights launching in 2024. Once operational, Mesa and United Airlines would acquire a fleet of these as a way to taxi customers to United's hub airports. Mesa's share price is up 7.8% in pre-market. In other news, urban air mobility company Archer, the one we just spoke of that's working with them, is about to be listed on New York Stock Exchange through a merger with Atlas Crest Investment. That's ticker ACIC. Following the merger, the company will be listed as ACHR. The transaction values the combined company at an implied $3.8 billion pro forma equity value at a $10 per share. At $10 per share. And to note, Archer's has just received a $1 billion order from United Airlines that we just mentioned above. ACIC share price is up 39.77%, which is about $15.89 in pre-market. Another company that plans to become public is Beachbody, which plans to do so by entering into a three-way merger with Forest Road Acquisition, that's ticker FRX, and Mike's Fitness Holdings. Forest Road's share price is up 9.85% in pre-market. One on Tenable, ticker TENB. It's a cyber exposure company that's set to acquire Alcid, an Active Directory security company, on undisclosed terms. Tenable share price is up 1.48% in pre-market. In other news, Pacific Bio, ticker PACB, has had a 22.58% gain in pre-market today after SoftBank told news sources this morning that it plans to make a $900 million investment in the company. Last one for me, Tyler Technologies has agreed to acquire NIC, that's ticker EGOV, for $2.3 billion in an all-cash transaction. Tyler's share price is up 13.69% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, Shane, I break my alerts down into very specific segments. I'm looking for specific industries. I'm looking at specific events coming up, and I'm looking for, breaking news that I can probably take advantage of to achieve some revenue gains during the day. I start off with my FANG alert, and I see Apple is partnered with TSMC to develop micro OLED displays. Also, with respect to Apple, apparently Nissan's the latest car manufacturer to signal that their openness to a collaboration on electric vehicles with Apple. So that's kind of interesting. It really kind of is pushing Apple to, partner with someone, and Nissan's the latest one to throw their hat in the ring. Speaking of electronic vehicles, Amazon has an interest in this company, Reavan, and apparently they're set to go public later this year. So you're going to see more of these electric vehicles on the road. They're going to be backed by a lot of high-tech companies, and we'll see how this all shakes out, but it's going to be interesting to watch. My Dow Jones 30 alert, here's an interesting one, IBM. They did a deal with Instacart because Instacart just acquired 250 patents for IBM. The financial terms were not disclosed, but that bodes well for Instacart. Uh, Salesforce.com, this is ticker CRM. I noticed the option volume yesterday ended with a very bullish 2-to-1 call put ratio. The stock's been climbing as of late. It got pulled back down when they did that buyout of Slack, which was a huge buyout for them. But you're starting to see them come back, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that $270 level later this year. This one is on, and also on Walmart. Remember the TikTok, the U.S. The U.S. government said their operations had to be sold to a U.S. entity. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently that order has been shelved indefinitely. So, shares of Walmart, Oracle, it's going to be affecting, firms like this. I have a buyout alert that I watch, and, Moody's hit on it today, ticker MCO, because they announced that they entered into a definite agreement to acquire Coterra, which is a leading provider of North American credit card data and workflow solutions. My dividend alert hit on Clorox, ticker CLX. Their board just declared a dividend of $1.11, 1.11. My guidance alert, ticker BG, they raised their yearly guidance, and TEVA, pharmaceutical maker, gave EPS guidance for the year of $2.50 to $2.70. A little wide, but it's very interesting. They're really trying to turn that company around. So watch for shares of TEVA this morning.
Well, let's go ahead and move into our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm picking Atlas Crest Investment. One I spoke about, ticker is ACIC. This is the company that's going to be merging with Archer. It's picking them up and making them public. It's a transaction that's got $3.8 billion value behind it, and it's hot news. And Archer is a company that's really hot right now. They've got technology that's very innovative. This whole electric engine thing, as far as vertical takeoff and landings with airplanes, and taxiing to main airport hubs, which is part of what United Airlines' plan is. It's a big deal. It's a $1 billion order that United has with them, and I think we can expect a lot of buzz around them this morning. Granted, it's up a little bit high right now. It was up quite a bit. However, although it's a high percentage, it's still really only $15, $16. So it's got some room to move. I'd imagine it's not a substantially high number. So this is one I want to look at maybe a little bit after the open, see if there's a dip, not too late after, but a little bit after, see if there's a little dip we can get in at. But I think this is one we can expect to see some rise this morning. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm going with ticker XPO. So run into earnings. Earnings are out this afternoon, and the stock is set for a 5.6% move. I looked at the option flow from yesterday. It's very positive. And next month, the monthly options are highly positive, but the weekly options were, very strong as well. You got to remember, these guys are a shipping firm. And when you think about holiday shipping, it was up. There was a lot of shipments. And there's also news reports about XPO handling the vaccine distribution. That's a positive. And their name's always mentioned. So you look at XPO, it's up a little bit this morning. I think you're going to see it continue to run into earnings with a pop after the earnings are announced this afternoon.
Let's move into what's hot off the press. So this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that will be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So Bill, looking at our newswire alerts and seeing all the headlines that are streaming in, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
Ticker BLNK. There's a rumor. This is a rumor. I want to be clear about that, saying that they're under the Inspector General investigation. I haven't heard much more about it, but it just hit the tape a few minutes ago. Haynes Brand, ticker HBI. They announced a deal with a licensing deal with Ohio State just now. So that's kind of interesting to look at.
One on Coca-Cola. This is just a headline, but it says Coca-Cola believes it will ultimately prevail on appeal in IRS tax dispute.
Coca-Cola came out with earnings. They were positive this morning. That's why you're seeing the stock moving higher. Dick's Sporting Goods, ticker DKS. They're going to be opening up five stores in 5 states in February.
One on AbbVie and Caribou Biosciences, so ticker ABBV, and Caribou, which is private, but Caribou's receiving a $40 million equity investment and $300 million in future milestones from AbbVie.
Here's TEVA again. I told you about the guidance earlier, but TEVA is targeting 28% operating margin by the end of 2023. They were highly in debt over the years. Hopefully they can come back. This is a discount drug manufacturer, so shares of TEVA are going to be one to watch today.
One on Pacific Biosciences, one that we spoke about in our news earlier, ticker PACB. The stock has just exploded up to 21% after the tip-off about SoftBank and its investment of $900 million.
Ticker THC. Tenet, the shareholder Glenview Capital, issues a letter supporting their Conifer spinoff.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing right now, Shane.
Same here. So traders, this is going to do it as far as what's hot the press. However, keep in mind, you can receive these same breaking stories just like us simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. It will definitely up your trading game. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Tuesday, I had Baidu, ticker BIDU. It opened at $279.60. And important to note, we said get in at the open this time, right? That was a firm decision. And hopefully we made that one, all of us, because it closed at, went straight up from there, closed at $295.05 for a 5.52% gain from beginning to end, just rose, and however, if you held your position into the close, the morning's pre-market price is even higher, up to $315.62 from yesterday's open. That's a 12.88% gain. So yeah, we did well on that one. That was a good move for us. How's yours end up doing, Bill?
You think about these fund managers doing 7%, and we just crush them on a month-to-month basis. I did Bungie Corp, ticker BG, yesterday. This was an earnings play. The stock opened at 74, and I said, listen, you want to try to get it, a little under this range of 74. It traded down to a little bit under that, to 73, 75, and then it just started to move. And then it jumped up to 75 later in the day, which is like a 2.3% difference. And this morning, they released earnings, and they blew away the estimates significantly. So you're seeing, the stock up, it actually went up to 79.51 this morning. That makes a 7.4% gain in a single day. So in the 24-hour period. So that's, you're never going to get out at the high. You're never going to get in at the bottom. But if you say, could I have been profitable on these types of trades? The answer is absolutely yes.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.